We're in the studio. Hey, everybody. Hey. We are on for Sunday evening, afternoon live. Usually it's 2 o'clock live, but it's 5 o'clock and it's Sunday. Usually I'm on earlier in the week, all week long, and I'm here for us to do our 2 o'clock live topic. But Today we're here at 5 o'clock. Actually, I've been coming live every Sunday around this time to talk about what do we have for the week. What kind of stuff do we have coming up this week in the market? That's really what we're shooting for. What's going on? What's going on? We want to know what's going on in the market this week. Y'all see my new shirts? We got new shirts. Stay green and get this money. Yes, we got us some new shirts this week. New shirts. If you want to see about getting a shirt, it's at bit.ly. Hey there. It's at bit.ly /MELINSP for the shirt. Yeah, thank you. They come in a few colors. You can get them in a few colors. One of them black that I and you can also get them in like a off-white or a sandy color, and you can get them in a blue. They can't see that. My husband is here to hold the shirt up in the other colors. So here's the oh goodness, the off-white, I guess, color. I don't think I'm showing the wait. I don't think I'm showing the words. There we go. It's kind of hard to do it backwards. And then there's the heather blue. The heather blue. Cool. Oh goodness, my helper is here helping. Isn't that amazing? I didn't see a comment on the wheel post. It depends on who that is talking. Is that Adrian? If it is Adrian, I did see that, but I dealing with the loss of dividends when you're assigned the shares when you trade from a high interest government money market account. Well, yeah. I think you have to be, however you're going to trade. Everybody's situation is different, so you have to make sure that the selling puts and selling covered calls is something that fits into the overall scheme of your accounts and types. Yeah, I think that's a very good point that you bring up, but make sure that everybody's situation is a little bit different. So when your situation is, you got to make it work for you, baby. Make it work for you. I was going to talk a little bit later about the cash secure puts and the wheel strategy training I released today, because every week I do send out information about some cash secure put trade ideas and some covered call trade ideas. So I want you to know how do you use that information. I put together a training to go with it, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But I kind of want to get into what is set for the market for this week. What is going on in the market this week? Your size is already sold out. Well, you know, Miss Deborah, you might keep checking back. Maybe pick a different color too. Maybe pick another color. And if there's some color that you think you want, just let me know. I can add the color to the availability, and then you can get some other color that may not be there. Right? I kind of pick the popular colors. Doesn't mean that that's the color you have to get. If you want some other color, then let's go for it. Just let me know, and we'll go for that. Okay. Talking about today, what are we looking forward to in the market this week? We're looking forward to some earnings. Things are going to be going on, right? We've got a whole bunch of earnings. Rah, rah, rah. We got a whole bunch of earnings going on this week. We got a few other things. We're going to look at some charting and some opportunities. Some opportunities. Okay, I want this to be the main screen, but I also want to move this. We got to move it. You got to move it. I don't want it to be that big, though. It needs to move it. Ooh, nope, not there either. Y'all know I have to work it out. Work it out. Didn't he work it out? Didn't he work it out? Yes, he works it out every single time. he works it out. I turn it over to the Lord, and he worked it out. Oh, yes. Yes, every time he works it out. Okay, we're in good shape. I think we're good now. Let's look at the calendar on the Forex Factory calendar. This is the meetings and things that happen during this week that are going to be coming this week. Just know, many of you follow me along, but I still like to explain to those who may not know. But the yellow folders means low volatility is anticipated, like it's something that's happening, but it may or may not cause a lot of volatility in the market. An orange folder is for medium volatility, and the red folder is for high volatility expected. All right. I have found that sometimes folder might say yellow, it might say orange, but really it's maybe the next step up, or it's a higher volatility than is specified here. Usually if it says red, it's red right there. That's probably not an orange or yellow. If it's put on here as red, that's because it's red. Orange sometimes is a little more volatile, and yellow I found that sometimes is more volatile. But let's talk about what's going on this week. So this is the forexfactory.com/calendar. It says Forex Factory, but this has nothing to do with quote unquote Forex. It might, because I think I have the filter set up where I only see the USD. But on this page, you can have the filter where you see every country and all the things that are happening in every country. So I guess it could probably be tied into Forex and the different currencies and how they work against each other based on what's happening in other parts of the world. If other events are happening someplace else, that may have an impact on the Forex market, which is the currency markets. But I'm grateful that they put a calendar together that every week they tell you what's going to happen. I only look at the USD stuff because I don't personally trade Forex, right? But if you are a Forex person who's actually trading Forex and not just doing the network marketing piece, perhaps you could benefit from this too. On Monday, we see the Chicago PMI at 9:45 in the morning, and you see the loan officer survey. That says it's tentative on Monday morning. Both of these are yellow folders, so low volatility should be expected. Tuesday, 9:45 in the morning, we have final manufacturing PMI. So in case you don't know what PMI stands for the Purchasing Managers Index. Okay, so if you're looking on this page and you want to know more information about any of these, you can always click on the folder over here, and the folder gives you like background information. What's it about? Why do we care? All those good things are underneath this folder right here where it says details. On Tuesday, 9:45 in the morning, final manufacturing PMI. 10 o'clock, we've got some red folders, ISM manufacturing PMI, and the JOLTS job openings. Anytime we're talking about job openings and employment, of course, those things impact our economy. Where we stand with our employment and unemployment does matter to the economy. USD 10 o'clock, ISM manufacturing prices. This is an orange folder. 10 o'clock yellow folder, construction spending month over month. All day, we're going to have the Ward's total vehicle sales. Another thing, it says it's yellow folder, and it probably is yellow or orange. But what people are people buying vehicles? Are they not buying vehicles? Have those things, shifted and whatever? That makes a difference, right? Yellow folder, may not be. It's not the largest purchase people make. That's why you see the housing stuff usually has an orange or a red folder, because that's a much more major purchase. And if people aren't spending their money on housing related things, then that's an indicator that there may be something going on with the economy too. On Wednesday morning, 8:15 before the market opens, we have a red folder of the ADP non-farm employment change, right? Non-farm employment. A lot of times the farm employment doesn't get factored in. And I think that's because a lot of times those are migrant workers, and they may be, a lot of, I'm going to stop there. There may be migrant workers. I'll just leave it there. 10:30 in the morning. I would say they don't count them, but anyway, 10:30 in the morning, crude oil inventory. This is another one that I think really is an orange folder. And if you look on investing.com, it shows up as an orange or medium volatility over there, because our oil inventories matter to our economy. Right. Thursday morning, all day, we have the OPEC JMMC meetings. That's all day. And a tentative, it's an orange folder. Let's see what those are. OPEC JMMC meetings are attended by the representatives from the 13 OPEC members and 11 other oil-rich nations. They discuss a range of issues regarding energy markets and most importantly agree on how much oil they will produce. Okay, so the OPEC stands for Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Petroleum exporting countries. That's what's going on with OPEC. That meeting or whatever, I guess, is tentative for all day Thursday. Challenger job cuts year over year. That's a yellow folder. Unemployment claims, 8:30 in the morning before market opens, is a red folder. Of course, that matters to us. Preliminary non-farm productivity, preliminary unit labor costs, yellow folders, low volatility. Like I said, that's all before the market opens. 9:45 final services PMI. That's a yellow folder. Red folder, ding, 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 10 o'clock. ISM services PMI. Let's see what ISM stands for. Institute of Supply Management Purchasing Managers Index. That's what that is. All righty, that's a red folder. Factory orders month over month, yellow folder, 10 o'clock. 10:30 natural gas storage, yellow folder. Again, that's probably orange. And then on Friday, we've got 3 red things. This is where the unemployment and stuff pops up. These are red folders. They're before the market opens, which of course those have an impact on what's happening in the market. I'm going to move on from here to earnings. Let's see if I can make this just a little bit bigger without getting too big. But this is, y'all see all these earnings for next week. We got all these earnings for next week. We're back into the height of earning seasons. This goes 4 times a year, basically every quarter. We go through these cycles. Let's go through who's what this week because it will matter. It will matter. Okay. So my darling is having earnings before market opens on Monday. Didn't know, and I don't know if you knew, but Kathy Woods made a huge purchase. I want to say she spent 1.2, either million or billion. I want to say million because billion would seem like a really, really lot. But I got a picture of it somewhere of how much she bought of SoFi the other day. Oh, there it is. Let's see. $1.2 million worth of SoFi shares she bought. Kathy Woods, the ARKF. I want to say this is the ARKF or the fintech. You know, she manages all the ARK or the ARKs. The ARKF is the one where she bought all this SoFi for their $1.2 million worth of SoFi she bought just before earnings, which, you know, some people would say, was that a good move? Because what if it, or, you know, she should have waited maybe, but, you know, maybe she, I would say know something we don't know. But, you know, every time you look somewhere for SoFi, they definitely keep getting positive ratings from the analysts and such. And SoFi has defied a lot of the odds. It's definitely a fintech. It's a long-term play. It's something that you, if you're interested in SoFi, you definitely, I would suggest, you know, not investment advice by any means, but I would suggest you buy it like dollar cost average into SoFi and continue to buy it over time. Over the long term, SoFi is going to be here. They're going to be here, and they're one of those market interrupters, right? I'm a fan. In case you can't tell, I'm a fan of SoFi. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Alrighty, so they have earnings on Monday before the market opens. Okay, we got on Simi or on Sim, not sure who they are. Symbiotic, Immunogen, we traded them a lot. Alliance, AirCap, AER Cap, CNA, Community Bank. A bank is still hanging around here. Apellis, and looks like Alexandra. I can't see it. Alexandra Incorporated. That's all before market opens on Monday. Of course, the one that caught my eye the most was SoFi. SoFi, love of mine. Yes. Okay. After the market closed on Monday, we're going to have Arista. I think Arista's records, right? Isn't that music? Transocean. We got Avis, Budget Group, the car rental people. Zoom Info, Diamondback, Rhombus, Lattice, Republic Express, maybe that says. CVR Energy. That's all Monday after the market closes. Tuesday, we've got Norwegian, a cruise line. The cruise lines are, you know, getting ready to report. They're coming out of their summer seasons where they really should have done pretty well this quarter because people showing up was back on cruise ships. Every time I looked up, I had all kind of people on my timelines going, "We going on a cruise," with their pictures. They on Carnival, doing the shake, shake, shake on the Carnival cruise lines. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Uber is reporting Tuesday before market open. So it's Pfizer, Caterpillar, Merck, JetBlue, the airline, SunPower, Altria, and Allegro. After the market closes on Tuesday, big boy, AMD. AMD runs right along with NVIDIA, right? AMD, Devon, Starbucks, Pinterest, MicroStrategy, ELF. I think ELF is makeup people, right? Solar Edge, Pioneer, Lumen. I'm not sure who this one is. Galactic? Looks like something galactic. Is Tuesday after close. On Wednesday, we got CVS, Humana, Generac, Comico, Perion, Kraft Heinz, the Food People, Tiva, and this is the Carlisle group here. Wednesday after close, PayPal, Shopify, Qualcomm, Oxy, Robinhood. Etsy is reporting then at APA Corporation. I told you we got a bunch of big boys this week. We got a lot of earnings coming out this week. Thursday morning, AB in BEV or AB in Bev. Never heard of them. Warner Brothers, Wayfair, ConocoPhillips, that's oil, Moderna, some pharmaceuticals, Expedia, Hasbro, the toy people, Cigna. Those are all reporting Thursday morning. Here we go with the one that's going to have heavy, significant impact. Ding, ding, ding. If you were half listening to me, tuning in. That's what I always tell my students when I'm teaching them, my college students. I say, if you were half listening to me up till now, you might want to tune in. Because sometimes some stuff they just zone out. And I'm like, okay, come back. So Thursday after close, we got Amazon and Apple. This is why I'm saying these two are going to be impactful. Why are they impactful? Apple, as Apple moves, the market moves, period. Apple affects the markets in several different countries or other markets, not just ours. Okay, so Apple is one that'll drag the whole market with it. If they get good earnings, we can see some higher heights. If they get not so great earnings, we can see lower lows for all of us. So the whole market all over the world will feel the impact of good or bad earnings. But you know what I have seen? This is weird, but it happens. Earnings can come in and be good earnings, and it'll still tank. Earnings can come in and be trash, and it'll run to the moon. It's like sometimes there is literally no rhyme or reason to earnings. That's why people kind of call it a YOLO. That earnings can literally feel like a gamble, because it doesn't matter sometimes whether they've got good reports, bad direction going forward, or guidance going forward. It still can go off the rails, and you have no clue. So many times you don't see, or if as a trader, again, not trading advice, but I would suggest, if you're interested in watching some of these earnings things, that you may trade it leading up to earnings. Close out whatever trades you have, trade what you see leading up to earnings, close those trades. And then after the earnings is reported, trade the following day, see what you see afterwards, right? Don't be, people get excited because sometimes you can put your money in and over the huge huge green candle, and you're like, it's gonna be amazing. By the time you get to the morning, those gains are gone. Because if you trade options, you can't trade options after hours. You can see it run to the moon, but you won't be able to pull any of that money off until the next morning if it's still at that place. So again, not necessarily trading advice, but I would suggest you trade up until earnings, close whatever you got, and then trade. If you want to trade again, trade after earnings have reported. That's just going to be a better way to not feel like you're gambling with your money, because that's not what the stock market is not for gambling. And if it feels like gambling, then you're not doing something right. It should not feel like a gamble. There is a way to trade the stock market in a very strategic manner that does not include gambling or feeling like you're gambling, because that's really not what we're here for. I'm not here for that, and I don't think my community is here for that. And most people who are trading the stock market aren't here for that. They're really people really want to learn and really want to know how do they maximize the use of the stock market in a repeatable strategic way. right? That's what we should be after. We want to find ways to repeat our gains, not just hope for something to go right every now and again. Nothing wrong with getting excited about that. People do like, oh, I made a bunch of money off that. But then just as many of those people you also hear people go, I lost a bunch of money on that. And you don't want that to be you. We don't want that to be you. Okay. Thursday after market close, we've got Amazon. That was my soapbox moment. Apple, we've got Coinbase and Block, Airbnb, DraftKings, Cloudflare, Fortinet, Petrobras. I can't even see what that is. And Wish. I didn't know Wish was still around. Y'all remember when Wish used to be the people that you order stuff from? It took forever to come from China, but you did Wish. I think now we've got Temu or Temu, and you've got Shein or Shein, however you want to pronounce it. But Wish was what was the super low cost place where you could buy stuff. Now you can do Temu, Temu. I've never ordered anything from them, but they have cute little stuff and nice prices. So I don't know if, maybe somebody can tell me, anybody can tell me how it's been going. Maybe somebody knows. Maybe somebody's ordered a Temu or Temu item, and they can let us know in the chat or in the comments how it went. We'd be interested to know. Inquiring minds want to know, like Arsenio Hall used to say. I think that was Arsenio Hall. Inquiring minds want to know. That might not be Arsenio. Wrong person. I might be attributing that to the wrong person. Friday before market, we've got Fubo TV. We've got Nicola. Looks like we've got Fisker. Yep, that's like Fisker. Magna, Enbridge, Dominion Energy. I like that name, Dominion. Ooh, that sounds like a strong name. Frontier, which is the airlines. I think this is Intest, the planes, and ACM. So that's all the stuff we have for earnings coming up this week. Lots and lots of stuff coming up for earnings. So definitely, if you trade any of these things, you're going to want to go ahead and do your charting. We always talk about charting on here. Go ahead and do your charting for those items. Chart from the daily, go down to the 15-minute, check and see where's your support and resistances. If you're going to trade, like I suggested, please trade up until earnings, close that trade and then open it back up after the earnings are reported. That's going to be a better deal for you if you're interested in that. Okay, I wanted to share with you the chart for SPX for the market this week, right? Last week we did have some, pretty decent volatility. I'll show you these candles a little closer here in a minute, but I wanted to show you like the overall picture, if you want to call it that, overall picture. And this is what's going on here. Back in, looks like April of, no, that's actually March. The end of March is where a gap was created around March 31st. It's like between March 30th and March 31st, there was a gap created of 2022 at the place where we are right now. I'm bringing that up because back in March of 22, a gap, they may not be able to see that because it's very small. Place on this week, I think it was Wednesday. Now let me make this bigger. Came right up to that on Wednesday, bumped right into the top of that gap. Now you do see that there's a bit of the wick went on up into the through the gap. But I don't personally, some people have different philosophies on whether a gap is filled if the wick goes in there or if the price, the whole candle part has to go in there. For me, I feel like if the candle body hasn't gone through it, then the gap isn't filled. Even though if you look at this day on Thursday, price action did go up into the gap because that's how you get the wick. The wick comes from price going up that high and then coming back down. So with this red candle, it says that the price opened at the top up here, right here at the 45.98. It went up a little bit, went up as high as, what's the high there? 46.07. Went up as high as 46.07, went through the gap, and then came back down and fell for the remainder of the day. Hard rejection, right? Rejected right there and came down for the remainder of the day on Thursday. That's what we ended up with. This was our big, heavy whale of a down day. Couldn't get past that gap. So that gap is still sitting there. It's still, again, in my opinion, my educated, somewhat educated opinion, the gap has not been filled because the price action went up there, but it didn't close with the candle. Again, that's how I feel about it. People may see different, and it's okay if we don't agree in that area. The point is there's a gap there, or there was. Maybe it's filled, maybe it's not, but there's there. So resistance would be at that gap because you see how this hard rejection happened at this place. But even above here, there's another level of rejection or another resistance, let's say, at 46.31. There's another level of resistance above here. So if there's some upward motion back here at the 45.98, which I believe is the resistance based on this candle here, the Thursday candle. Otherwise, you've got something a little above here at 46.31.32. All right. And if we go to smaller time frames, we may even see some other resistance areas on SPX. SPX at this area, though, is very unstable. We've been in a bullish trend for a long time, but we're up here in real unstable territory, right? We're oversold. Overbought pretty much up here. It's all of the indicators are saying it's, time for a reversal or a pullback, something to kind of gain us some strength because we're in unstable territory. Anybody who's a technical analyst will say that. I'm not personally a technical analyst, but I do understand how to read a chart a little bit, right? Just a little bit. I understand how to read a chart. So looking below us, though, for some support areas, there's another gap that's below here. It's between 44.72 and 44.91. This is a buyer's gap, which means there's buyers down in here. If we were looking for some other support areas, I would say we're kind of in where we were. The support would be at the bottom of this candle, would be at the 45.37. That's a 3. 45.37. This has kind of been in the zone. You see, this is kind of consolidation areas, kind of just hung around in here for a minute. So down here, this is some support as well. 45.25, 45.30. We're all in the same spot too. So there's some resistance. I think I probably would put a line here too. Now keep in mind that support and resistance are zones. They are not hard lines. So I'm putting a line here, but what this says is this is an area of support. It's not just one line. It's not like 45.38. If it hits this number, it's automatically moving. No. It's a zone. Price can go a little bit down into it. It can turn around before it gets here. It can come down into it some and then turn around. So this is, just know we've got some support and resistance right around this red candle. Really, this red engulfing candle, if you know the word about engulfing, if you've got a red engulfing candle, this is engulfing all three of these green candles. So an engulfing candle is an indication that there's a reversal, right? Anybody who studies candle patterns will know that an engulfing pattern is a signal of a reversal, which this green candle is kind of shocking to show up right after that. But you see, it didn't jump outside of either one. It didn't go above this, didn't go below this. It's really in the middle. So the bearishness is, according to the chart pattern, the candle pattern should still be continuing. But I really also feel like we're really in some heavily manipulated areas as well. Think we're being heavily manipulated in this area. But again, our community, what do? We trade what we see. Trade what you see. We trade every day. SPX, XSP. We're trading what we see. And if you look on the bottom of the screen, there's a training that we did the other week that includes how do we trade SPX every day for income. And if you don't want to do SPX, you can do XSP because it requires less collateral. But there's a strategy that we use every single day to pull profits off of SPX and XSP. And it's solid. It's a good solid strategy if it's followed. Sometimes we have people who trade the strategy and then they get a little more comfortable and they kind of, drift outside the lines. And sometimes that'll get you bit. Sometimes it works for you. But when we follow the strategy as we should, it'll pay you every single day. You can generate at least 10% of your collateral every single day. And your collateral is up to you. Some people will trade one contract of SPX and that will generate $50+ Some people will trade two contracts and that will generate $100+ right? So it all comes down to what is it that you want to get off of out of the amount of money you want to get. That's going to determine how much collateral you need to put up. If you're doing XSP, I did a video last week. If you look on my YouTube channel, I did a video on how can you make how can you make, what did I say, $500 a week using $1,000. Basically, you're using the $1,000 over and over and over. And I was saying, how can you make 500? Well, you make $100 a day. Make $100 a day. You use that $1,000. You trade 10 contracts. At least get at least $10 in premiums each day. That's $100, and you rinse and repeat that every single day using the strategy. The strategy. You got to use the strategy. All righty. All righty. Everybody can see our t-shirts. Y'all see me wearing our t-shirts? Woo woo. There's black, and then we've got the blue. Stay green and get this money. And then we've got the off-white. Stay green. That's what we're trying to do every single day, is we're trying to stay green and get this money. I see a Nan, you said you got you what? Yeah, we want to stay green and get this money. That's what we're after, right? That's what we're after every single day. I mentioned the puts. Actually, I want to go to the puts. Before I show this, I want to go to the list of puts for this week. Before I go there, we're going to talk more about this on our 2:00 live tomorrow. We're going to talk about cash secure puts, and we're going to talk about covered calls. How do we use cash secure puts and covered calls to create weekly income for us? I call cash secure puts the no lose strategy. And I've said this multiple times, but the reason I call it a no lose strategy is because when you put this trade on, you collect your premiums. Once the time goes by, your expiration, at the end of the expiration time, either you have going to keep your premiums because price is above your strike, you just get to keep the money that you generated, that you earned. Or if the price is below your strike, you're going to be given 100 shares. And then you take those 100 shares and you sell covered calls. Then you take those 100 shares and sell covered calls. So if you're one who just wants to just go straight to covered calls, you can do that. That means you need to buy 100 shares of these stocks and then sell at a price above what you paid for them. All right. So let's say for Tupperware, for example, Tupperware, I want to say is in the $2 range, below $2. You buy them at $2 and you sell a covered call at $2.50 or $2.5 or $3. If then they get called away at the expiration, then you're making more money than you paid for them. If you paid $2 or let's say you paid $2.10 and you have a $3 strike and they get called away for $3, then you're going to get $300 back and you only paid $2.10. Right? So that difference between those two prices is your money. And you've already received premiums for selling your covered call. Here's some covered call trades. I put that into my social media stuff. If you follow me on Facebook or you follow me on Instagram and those places, Instagram, I believe it's on TikTok. I kind of put everything everywhere, basically. Cash secure puts I gave you 5 or 6 suggestions here, depending on how much money you want to put on those. But to use these, cash secure puts and covered calls is a strategy called the wheel. That's a strategy called the wheel. It's a wheel strategy where basically you start with selling the puts. If you get assigned, then you sell covered calls. I'm down here. When you get exercised, your stock gets called away and then you start all over. It's a wheel. Basically, it goes around in a circle where you start with selling puts for premiums. You collect premiums there. Then if and when you get assigned, because you don't have to get assigned, you can, just sell the puts for income. If you wait till the end and if it's by under your price, you will get assigned. Then you sell covered calls against those, collect premiums. And if they get exercised, they get called away. You start the whole wheel over. This whole strategy I put together into a set of courses. Where did I put it? Is it here? Nope, it's not there. It's here. There we are. At educatortotrader.com. You can go there. Adrian. You can go there and grab hold to the strategy training We'll talk about it during our 2 o'clock lives. Of course, I won't teach the whole strategy because then why would I have a training on it? I will talk about it. We'll hit a couple of those. We'll hit it on a superficial level. But I really want you not just, I won't not go through it on a live call, but I want you to be able to learn it and be able to use the training and stuff at your own pace and really get the full time of it. If I do it on a 2 o'clock live, I'm not, the time constraint is there. So I want you to be able to have the videos and be able to do it in a manner where you can push your own buttons and do all the good stuff with it too. Alrighty, that's all at educatortotrader.com. You can find all of my stuff. All of my stuff is at educator to trader, educator to trader. There are people who use the wheel strategy as a complete strategy. They don't do anything else but the wheel. It is probably the most passive strategy that you can do as a seller. It's probably the most passive strategy because you set your trades up ahead of time. You let them run till expiration. If it goes your way, fine. If it goes, if the price comes down, then it's not. And you just I want to stop sharing. And you just keep pushing. And then if you get the shares, you sell covered calls, and you don't have to watch these. You don't have to watch them. All righty. All right. I don't see too many questions or comments. If you got any questions, you're free to put them into the chat. I believe I've covered most of the things I wanted to cover for us today. We have our Facebook group. If you're a part of our Facebook group or not a part of the Facebook group, please go ahead and join. It's at Educator to Trader. You can find us over there. If you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're growing. We're trying to tell the masses about how to be an option seller, how to generate resources and income from selling options. Right? I like selling options because it's a strategy. The strategies are the ones that don't require a lot of management and a lot of watching. Now, there are some that do require more management and watching. If you're going to trade SPX each day and you're not going to use the PDT hack that we have set as part of our strategy, then some of these will require more watching. But I purposely work our strategies to make sure they don't require a lot of watching, that they can be done in the afternoon if you so choose to wait, or if you're doing them in the morning, that you've got a way to lock in your profits and you don't have to watch it all day. And the reason I do that is because I can't watch stuff all day. I teach college students. So when I'm teaching them, I've got, 22 sets of eyes. They ain't always looking at me. I ain't even gonna fool myself and act like they're always looking, because they're not. Many times they scrolling on their phone and I have to call their names and say, hello, are you with me? It's a fine line between me letting them be adults and just say, if you want to half listen, that's on you, and me being frustrated because I'm teaching and I know you ain't paying attention, and which is hard because you're like, I know you need to be listening. You know you need to be listening. I don't want to call them out like that, but sometimes I'm like, now, you the main one who need to be tuned all the way in. You don't have the brain capacity right now, sir, to be focused on that phone and focused on this math. Focus on this math. But again, these are all adults we're talking about. So that's a carryover from me teaching middle school and me teaching high school, that with middle schoolers, you have to convince them that they want what you're giving them. With college students, you're like, if you don't want to eat the grain that I'm, the nice buffet I'm spreading before you, if you don't want to enjoy the buffet, then when it don't turn out your way, then I'm going to be so sorry. It would be so sorry. So sorry. Okay, so if you haven't yet, you can also get a copy of the 7 mistakes that traders make that keep them from making 7 figures. You can find that at bit.ly/7 mistakes traders make. I think that's the end of 7 mistakes traders make. If you don't know what a perfect strategy is for your personality, then go over, take the quiz. It's at tradingstrategyforyou.com. Perfect strategy for you. You can go there and take a little quiz. It talks about the kind of time it takes, the kind of money that, are you one who can handle losing or not? That kind of stuff. Those are the kinds of questions that are there. And if you're one who's looking for some other stuff for SPX, you got the free copy of the 5 SPX hacks. You can get that at spxhacks.com. Okay. Well, as our shirt says, there's two things we do in this community. Two things we do. Oh, you know what? I didn't mention the membership. When I say our community, I do have a membership. Every morning we do a pre-market call. We trade together in our Telegram. When I'm available on Monday mornings, we do the live trading, the open. We actually traded the open last Friday. We traded, you can probably see the YouTube video that I put up of us trading the open as sellers. As sellers, you don't really have to rush into the market on a morning. You can really, give it some time, let the market see what it's going to do. You can do that. And but I have a membership, and every other weekend we also do some coaching and training. It's just a wonderful community of traders who hang out together, and I promise you, I mean, these people are phenomenal. Okay, and that's not because they're my folks and we've I've cultivated or curated a nice community, but I'm telling you, they're really helpful. And it's just, trading can be lonely. So when you're trading with, it's good to have good people to trade with. And if you get stuck, there's somebody who can say, did you think about this? Or don't forget, FOMC is today. Just having somebody to trade with. We do power hour together in the afternoon. And then when it's all over and we've all gotten our money, we celebrate one another with our music. Celebrate good times. Come on. We do, we all have a good old time. So you can find, again, all those things of mine you can find at educatortotrader.com. Join the membership, check out the courses, all the things I've just talked about. Okay, I really want you all to enjoy the remainder of your Sunday evening. I'm going to go eat dinner. I hear my husband clicking the plates in there. I think that's his indication that it's time to come eat. So, like our shirt says, now I can go ahead and say it. Like our shirt says, we do two things in this community. Woo, woo, woo. We stay green and we get this money. All righty. I'll see you all tomorrow. See you tomorrow at 2:00 live. Bye, everyone.